It's fairly simple to add GPS data to your photos, especially if you just want to plop a whole group of images into one city. In a previous video, I showed you how to do that, and I used an example of a group of some photos that I took when I was in Italy. And to do that, I applied one city to a large batch of photos. But what if you want to be more precise and you don't have a GPS-enabled camera? What if you want each photo to have a specific location on where you photographed it, especially if you're walking around a city or you're hiking and you just want to see where each image was photographed? You can do that by using GPS tracking, and it's much less complicated than it sounds. There are a few different ways that you can log the GPS data, and if you have a smartphone, then an app on your smartphone is probably going to be the easiest way. There are other options, such as Garmin watches or other type of GPS devices where you can actually just carry them with you at any time and log your GPS data. As long as you can get a GPX file type out of whatever method that you are logging, then that's all you really need. So let me go ahead and show you how I do this with my phone. I use an app called GPS Tracks, and this allows me to start and stop my GPS tracking, and then it draws a line where I was walking. One thing that you do need to make sure that you set beforehand is that you want to make sure that the time is synchronized between the two devices. In this case, I made sure that the time on my iPhone matched the time on my camera. I wasn't concerned with the seconds being perfectly precise. I just wanted it to be within a minute of the actual time. Because how this works is the app knows where I am on this map and in these actual locations at any given time. So then it takes that data and then it pulls the time logs from each individual photo, and then it knows where it can place them on the map. So this was a hike that I did with my dogs. I took my camera, I got a few photos of them running around, and I just need to export it. So go ahead and click on that export button, and it's asking me what format to use. For Lightroom, I want to use GPX. I'll click on that, and it will give me a few different options on how to proceed. So now back inside of Lightroom, I'm going to go up to the Map module. I'll click Map at the top, and at the GPS track log icon, I'm going to click on that in the toolbar, and then select Load Track Log. I have that GPX file on my desktop, so I will double-click it to add it into Lightroom. Once that route shows up, as I scroll over the route, you can see the timestamps pop up. And that timestamp is what Lightroom will use to sync up the GPS data with the corresponding photos of those same timestamps. Now, to add these photos and tag them with the GPS data, I go up to Map, Track Log, Auto Tag Photos. Now that only tagged one photo because in the film strip, I only had one photo selected. The only photos I have down here are from that trip, and I added these to a collection, but you could do them into a folder just as easily. So I'm going to select all of these photos, and I'll repeat that step. Map, Track Log, Auto Tag Photos. And now all of those photos have GPS data associated with them, and you can even see them on the map. And if you look on the metadata panel on the right, you can see that GPS data and even the altitude setting as well. If you no longer want to see that track log, you can go back into that icon and select Turn Off Track Log. Because I tagged these photos, that GPS data will stick with the images and it's embedded into the metadata.